Yo, appreciate everybody pulling up. Welcome to another episode of the Flocking In Podcast. I hope everybody having a good day. I hope everybody had a great last night. First of all, I just want to say thank God for definitely being the head of my life. Right now it's a lot of stuff going on this morning. My mom, she's in the hospital. Make sure you guys keep her in your prayers and everything. I'm gonna have a special guest on today. It was supposed to be a pre-recorded live, but a pre-recorded video, but I couldn't have no space, so that's why I had to go live instead and everything. So I'm just waiting for my guest to show up and everything this morning. Very special guest. I thank God for him and everything for just being him, stuff like that. Um, much love to him. So make sure, I'm just waiting for him to show up, stuff like that, pull up to the stream and everything so we can talk some football and everything. I ain't gonna be on here live. We just gonna get in the way and just go on and get out the way and everything. I still gotta let everybody know that I'm live and stuff. So while we wait for him and everything, just give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. Sorry about the noise in the background. They're doing construction work outside. Just waiting for him to show up because I know it takes long. See his messages and stuff. So. Yeah, just definitely keep my mom's in prayer, y'all. My bad about the text and stuff like that, but yeah, just keep my mom in prayer. You know, she doing her final surgery today. Um, they got to shrink that ulcer on her, so I just hope she does better and everything. She's gonna be in the hospital for a few days. Um, like I said, man, anything. I'm gonna try to do my best to go up there and go see a visitor and stuff like that. Um, yeah, man. I'm just glad, that God is keeping me still and everything, even though I'm going through a tough time right now. So, um, like I said, just keep me in the prayers and stuff like that. That's Break Fridge Jamar. I appreciate y'all pulling up, bro. I'm just waiting for my guest to come on, and once he come on, we can start talking this football. Big game for the Ravens on Sunday. Um, the chance to improve in 7-3. Um, hey man, I'm just glad, man, that we are doing good as a team, as a unit, and everything. Hopefully, we make the playoffs and continue to ascend and everything in the right direction. I'm just waiting for Ingraven to pop up and everything. He should be in shortly, probably. Just waiting for him. Um, yeah, man. I just glad that guys just still keeping me in the mix and everything. But yeah, the Ravens, man. After watching last week's games, um, you know, I'm just glad it was a stress-free weekend, and I hope for y'all it was definitely a stress-free weekend, stuff like that. Yeah, just waiting for my guests to come on so we can just talk about this and everything. I ain't gonna have them on for long, just about a good 30 minutes and everything. Like I said, we're gonna do this and get on out the way you know, and just let everybody keep their day going. And I hope it just goes safely, y'all. So I'm just waiting for Ingraven to pop up. No, I think that don't. Give me 1 second. He says coming out. Okay. But yeah, though, I just thank God for everything that He's done. You know, just letting everybody know I'm live and stuff. Oh man, I'm just glad the Ravens. I'm just glad the Ravens is just 6-3, man. Like I'm looking at all these other teams, man. In the AFC, the Bills. They just lost. They just lost to Vikings. They lost there. Um, they lost there. They lost to the Jets last week, I believe. Um, what else? Yeah, they lost to Miami early in the season, I believe. Um, yeah, so the Bills, I'm still worried about them. They no scrub. Um, they definitely no scrub. The Chiefs, they up there. They the number one seed. They're 7-2. Um, Titans, I'm definitely, they ain't no scrub because they still got that man in the backfield, Derrick Henry. Um, yeah, they got a lot of pieces down there, man. Yeah.
Mm. Is there an echo? Can you hear echo?
Nah, you good? What's
All
going
right,
on?
cool, man.
I appreciate you pulling up, man. It's definitely an honor to have you
Nah,
on my podcast, man.
it's all good, man. Appreciate the
Um,
invite.
yeah, no, definitely, man. Because I was like, oh man, I watched this guy. I watch your videos a lot, man. Your song, everything. It's definitely like inspiring. I'm like, oh my goodness, man. Um, yeah, but yeah. So guys, I mean not guys. Ingraven, can you let everybody know where they can find you? Which should be no hard introduction because how successful you are on YouTube, bro.
Oh, you live right now? I didn't even know. That's what's up, man. Yeah, the channel, Instagram, Twitter, even Facebook too. Everything is Ingraven Vids. So again, appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, you definitely welcome, man. All right, so I ain't gonna have you on for long because I know you got other stuff to do and everything. Like I said earlier in the stream, you gonna get in the way, get on out the way. Okay, so my question: the Ravens they play the Panthers
Mm-hmm.
Sunday. Um, hopefully we're healthy, man, because that's just been the issue throughout these last 2 years and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And like you said, we got to stay ready, stay ready, so we ain't got to get ready.
Yeah.
Um, so I just got a couple of questions for you. First off, do you think with the Ravens, do you think with these the starters that we have that's coming into this game
Mm-hmm.
can be able to keep the Panthers, at a certain position to where they have to like put in the work and everything to get the dub Sunday?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, starting with the defense, like defense really ain't got no excuses because especially they were playing better together as the season was going. Then they went on top of that and added Roquan Smith. And he looked, I know it was just one game so far, but still he looked really, really good. He looked really, really comfortable. And he let Patrick Queen, he allowed Patrick Queen to play even better and for him to look even more comfortable. And they were like feeding off of each other. So that should be really good down this stretch, this last stretch before playoff time, because that'll allow them to continue to build off of each other. And I think for the Panthers game specifically, though, it just really starts with stopping their run game. Really stopping their run game, stopping Dante Foreman and Chuba. So you could try to make them one dimensional. And if you can if Ravens can do that, and obviously the offense, they got to do their part as well with putting up points. It's that can just set the Ravens up to be in a real good position and just make life easier on both sides. Both sides can benefit off of each other playing good football. But defense, they should be able to hold it down. I think they should. And then the offense, they got to do their part. And you talked about health a couple of minutes ago. They are getting healthier.
Good.
Gus Edwards, he should be back this game. Mark Andrews, if he's fully healthy, if they decide to play him, if he wasn't fully healthy, then I could see them like resting him, be like, Mark Andrews, you just chill this game, get a little extra rest or whatnot. Not that they would be sleeping on the Panthers or whatnot, but at the same time, it's like I think they could get by without Mark Andrews. But having a Mark Andrews is obviously way better than not having a Mark Andrews. But he's getting healthier down the stretch because he had a nice long break because he played like what one drive, a couple of drives in that Tampa Bay game, and he hasn't played since. So he's had a nice long time off, which is
Long
good
time.
for him, which he obviously needed. But yeah, Ravens will be getting healthy, and then later on in December they'll get Marcus Williams back, so that'll be real good too. So yeah, man, they just got to handle business on both sides of the ball, obviously. But in this game, I just really expect the defense to set the offense up real nice.
Yeah, and yeah, like I was talking to you about Marcus Williams a couple of weeks ago and everything. I definitely hope to get him back. I like Geno. Don't get me wrong, he had a couple of picks in his career, especially I don't know if you remember like the last week of the season when we played the
Steelers,
Steelers and
right?
everything. That interception, I still remember it. I still
Yeah,
remember. Oh my goodness, man! Like the last couple of weeks, I don't want to really get off topic because I know we got to just stay
no,
on
you
topic,
good, man.
but the last couple of weeks, I feel like if we'd have had Lamar itself and everything, because he, like you said, I think in your last video or the video before that he takes things in his own hands and everything. Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah, so but because I feel like he's the guy to lead us to victory, but you really don't want your quarterback to play hero ball and everything like that. You want to have you want to have other people on because it's a team game.
yeah,
You want to have other people contribute and everything so it could be a win. But yeah, though, man, I think the schedule does favor us, but I've been telling other people, you know, you play with a team in front of you, and you just hope, because anybody, because you saw the Commanders game with the Eagles,
yeah.
you really, I'm sorry, you really can't count on nobody. And I look at all
Mm-hmm.
these other people, they counting up these teams and stuff like that, and I'm looking at the rest of the AFC, but it'd be nice. And like you say, you really don't want to. You really about as far as with the number one seed, you really don't want to leave everything back in 2019. Um, you know, I really want. I don't know about you, but I really want that number one seed.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind it. I think yeah, a lot of people they get like scared of having a number one seed because
Yeah,
with 2019 with the way that season went, that season is always sort of used as a benchmark for Ravens fans, analysts, a lot of people, because again they went 14-2. It was a great regular season, but a lot of people are scared because of how that postseason went because they had the number one seed and they literally ran away with the number one seed. But then Titans came in and whooped them
and
at
and
their
just
own crib.
destroyed them, right,
Yeah,
man. Oh, bro. I was like, hey man, because everybody was saying like Super Bowl, and the 2019 game with versus the 49ers. I think that was my favorite game. It's in there with one of my favorite Ravens games of all time. Mind you, I've been a fan since 2008 and
Yeah,
everything, so I've seen it all with Joe Flacco being the quarterback, Harbaugh, being our rookie head coach back then, with all them boys. Um, yeah, so expectations was very high and
mm-hmm.
everything in 2019 because man, it's rarely you go on a 14 game winning streak and everything. I think no, not 14. I think it was a 12 game winning streak. My bad. But
Yeah.
Coach Dante, appreciate you pulling up. I seen you coming in. Yeah, but man, but going back to the Panthers game, I feel like you said going into the off season, we need to get wide receivers. I don't really like to call Eric DeCosta cheap, but I'm scared. I'm very scared out of my mind. I don't know about you. This comes with my next question.
Mhm.
About far as like just paying people, man. Like I don't like call Eric DeCosta cheap, but
No,
you
he's
know,
he's not cheap, but the Ravens are historically cheap at certain positions.
right,
They're not cheap, but just at like the wide receiver, they're usually cheap there. At pass rusher, it's in and out because you got Terrell Suggs who got paid obviously, and you got Elvis Dumerville who they also paid. But then there's a lot of guys that came after that and in between that that just that they really haven't been taken care of like that. And they've been good players. They've been good
right,
players, but it just again, I think the biggest position is obviously wide receiver where they're cheap at. Because you look at some guys that they have paid. Uh, Joe Flacco obviously got paid. He's a quarterback. He was their first real franchise quarterback. He got paid. Lamar Jackson to be determined. But Mark Andrews, he's a tight end. He got paid. Dennis Pitter, he got paid. Ronnie Stanley, he's a left tackle. He got paid. And they got paid close to. It wasn't top of the market, but it was very close to top of the market money. Obviously Marlon Humphrey, they took care of him. Marcus Williams, they took care of him, and that was a surprise to me. But they did take care of Earl Thomas too, a couple years back.
yeah,
Didn't work out for them, but because he wanted to start swinging on people, but they paid him. Marcus Peters got paid. Roquan Smith, it's like you know it's on the way, man. They ain't get that dude for no reason, but they still didn't do it yet. But they had their positions where they do pay.
yeah,
But it's just that
yeah.
wide receiver ain't one of them.
Right, and I was like, like I said, he has been paying and everything, but I'm just hoping, man, this off season, I'm hoping they do the right thing, give Lamar his money because I think after watching him this far and everything of his career, I feel like he deserves it and everything. And not to mention, I saw another one of your videos when you were saying Roquan Smith was not a rental, which I think he's not. He's not a rental at all, and everything. And I hope they do keep Patrick clean and everything. So, yeah, like I said, this leads to my next question. Do you think the Ravens will somehow put together a contract for Lamar at the end of the season?
Mm. Honestly, no, I don't. I don't see it right now. I would love to be wrong about that, but
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't
I
see
would
it
love to
happening
be
right now.
wrong. Right? Yeah. I
I,
don't. I definitely don't see it, but I'm just hoping. I'm praying.
yes, because it's scary to think about, especially because like we know we've seen it. Um, because I know I always hear so many people say, "Oh, well, if they move on from Lamar, the Ravens have been successful before Lamar, and they'll be successful after." And hey, they did have a lot of success before Lamar. They got their two Super Bowls and whatnot. Flacco, he won a Super Bowl back in 2012, 13, which was great. But it still doesn't take away from how special Lamar Jackson is at the quarterback position, and the fact that he hasn't even like reached his peak yet. He hasn't even reached his full potential yet. We've seen glimpses here and there, but I feel like they haven't even really fully built around him yet. So we haven't even got to see how great Lamar can really be. But I'm worried that this may be the last season for Lamar. Because it's just because my thinking on it is like, all right, if they couldn't come to an agreement with him before, they did give him offers and whatnot, but it wasn't up to his standards, and his standards are not going to drop. His price is not going to drop. It's not going to go down all of a sudden. So if they couldn't come to an agreement before the season started, and they tried, um, then I just don't see them being like, all right, well, you know what, the price went up, so you know what, let's up our contract offer too. I just don't see them being willing to continue to go up as Lamar's value continues to increase. I don't see the Ravens continuing to increase their offer to him. So, I mean, we'll see. Again, I want him to stay very bad, but right now I just really don't see it.
Yeah, and I man, I can imagine what the whole comments on, because they are. I was so upset when I found out back in 2018 when he got drafted, that nobody wanted him to play the position and
Mm,
everything because when you get when I played football back in 2014, back in my
mhm.
high school year, as defensive tackle. They said I was too slow. They said I couldn't run as much and stuff like that. I had to, which is true. And I definitely still, even today, I still need to get in the gym, lose weight and stuff like that. But you know things, I try to block out all the noise, and that's what he's doing now and everything. He blocking out all the noise that change a position or you
Mhm.
know, um, you know, uh, be a better passer. I feel like that narrative should go away because he's proven being a passer and
Mhm.
everything. But I feel like there's definitely improvement to be done. But he's developing year by year. And I want him to stay because in the beginning, really nobody wanted him. They wanted him to change positions, and I hope hopefully, like you said, back to what you were saying, hopefully, he definitely stays, and we definitely would love to be wrong and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, yeah, but man, we got a couple games down the stretch and everything, Panthers. But like I said, you want to really, go game at a time and everything. Stick to,
Mhm.
go game at a time and stuff like that. A couple games down the stretch. We got Panthers, Bronco. No, excuse me.
Yeah.
Panthers,
The Broncos.
Jacksonville, Denver. Um, I think Pittsburgh down the
Yeah.
lane.
Still got
And
Pittsburgh
everything.
twice.
Pittsburgh,
Still got the Browns, the Bengals.
Browns, Bengals. Yeah. So
Is that
and
it?
the Falcons. So
Oh,
yeah,
the
we
Falcons too. Yeah.
yeah, and our schedule is so it's just so favorable. But gotta play what's in front of you. We gotta
Mhm.
stay locked in. We gotta stay keyed in and everything. But yeah, this my next question. Do you think what is your expectations for the Ravens this season?
Mm. Um, I expect I would love for them to go undefeated the rest of this year. I don't expect it to because it's NFL, man. Crazy stuff happens all the time. I do expect them to win most of their games for the rest of the season, for the rest of the regular season, but I don't expect them to go undefeated because stuff just happens.
Definitely.
Teams show up. You still got 4 division games, and you know those could always go anyway. And then like with the Browns, for example, they Jacoby Brissett was no pushover. They sacked him 5 times, I think, but that game it was still close. Well, it was somewhat close at the end. But now you're gonna be going up against Deshaun Watson. So that makes the Browns that much tougher. For the Bengals, that game literally came down to the very end. And they didn't even have a healthy T. Higgins because I don't even think he finished the game. So that could be a big difference maker at the Bengals game, and plus that'll be a home game for them. The Steelers, we don't know how these Steelers are going to play the Ravens yet, so we'll see. And they got to play them twice, 2 times,
Yeah.
so that's big. And even with this Panthers game, the Falcons, like the Bucks, I think most of us probably expected the Bucks to run away with the NFC South this year. But they haven't. The Bucks have been super underachievers. So with that being said, the Panthers right now they still got something to fight for, and so do these Falcons. So you're gonna be going up against those two teams that they still got a lot to play for. So they're gonna bring it. But regular season, I expect Ravens to take care of business mostly. Postseason, this is where I get a little alarmed at postseason because
Me
that's
too.
when like Ravens seem to right now that they have their identity. It seems running the football, passing is at a minimum, and they playing some good defense. All right, cool. Um, but come postseason, my biggest concern is in the passing game. How is the passing game going to be, especially since the passing game has such a low volume? So, and what I mean when I say that is the passing yards and even attempts and opportunities is very low. So, with it being so low, that puts more pressure on it to have to be perfect. If one thing messes up with the passing game, it can look like a disaster like that. Like
So
if he
instantly,
if he
right?
misses a pass, then it's like, oh man, that's terrible. And it is bad when he misses a pass, but if somebody drops a pass, oh that could blow everything up. So with there being such low volume in the passing game, I just wonder like come playoff time, all right, what's gonna happen when these teams are like, hey, Ravens, you ain't running on us. You are not gonna run a football on us, and they really try to take it away. How is the calls gonna be? How the with Greg Roman in the offense, how the calls gonna be? How's Lamar gonna be executed? How these receivers gonna look? It's just I'm just wondering how that's gonna be when that time comes. Like if obviously their plan A on offense is to run that football. If plan A if it's not working, all right, how's plan B gonna look? What's that gonna look like? And how effective is it gonna be? That's my biggest concern for the Ravens moving forward. Regular season, I don't have any worries for them at all. But postseason is when I'm just concerned about what their approach is gonna be, especially versus how these other teams' approach is gonna be, and exactly what they're gonna do to get the job done.
Yeah, and basically, like you were saying, with the self-inflicting wounds, we
Uh,
really they
mhm,
really need to pay attention to that. Like the pre-snap penalties, the
mhm,
getting to the huddle, getting out the huddle in time and everything to be able to get players set,
mhm,
motion time and stuff like that, because that all can key into a factor. I notice, every time I notice when the Ravens, get to the ball, before they snap it, like within 5 seconds, the players either delay a game or you know the players rushed and everything, or or etc. And we that's like I said that making the big plays downfield
mhm.
that has to stop. Those are all self inflicting wounds
Yeah,
and everything.
for
And
sure.
I just hope as a unit, in this bye week, I hope it just taught us, okay, we're gonna go back and look at film and everything and see what we need to work on. That's just for every team. I called that
Mhm.
on so many numerous occasions, but even with just other teams, like find out what your problem is. And I was talking to a lot of Eagles fans about it and stuff like that. Like find out what your problem is before find out what their self-inflicting wounds and everything going into playoffs is, so they can be fixed, so they can
Yeah,
just heal and stuff like that. But yeah, though the Baltimore Ravens, we like you said, we definitely about to have, like you said in your other videos, um, we really trying to find out who these Baltimore Ravens is and stuff like that this year, because every year, it seemed to be a different team and everything. But like I said, man, I'm just hoping this the year we turn up and everything. Hopefully, we grab that number one seed, man, because
yeah. I mean,
oh my
hope
goodness,
so. We'll see real soon because yeah, it's already the middle of November. Um,
yeah,
it'll
running,
be January before you know it, and that'll be
running.
playoff time, man. So
Yep, yep. Yeah,
this
but
football season go by super fast.
yeah, yeah, it definitely went fast. It just seemed like yesterday it was just week one. Well, I ain't even want to say just like yesterday week one, but seemed like yesterday it was just the preseason.
Yeah.
And goodness gracious, already week 11 and everything.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, I'm just looking at all these teams in the playoff picture. You know, and whew, they first one I like all these. There's so many different scenarios. Like we play the Dolphins. Oh, okay. We probably play the Titans. I definitely really don't want to play them, man. Like, oh my goodness, man. But we got Roquan. I thank God for that, basically, because the tackling should shore up and everything. and we just got to see, man. We just got to see, but thank you for definitely being on the show and
Yeah, for
everything. I ain't
sure.
gonna hold you up too long, ain't gonna hold everybody up in the stream too long. And like I said, man, I appreciate it. I watch every single one of your videos, man. And just like the
I
song,
appreciate it.
your song brings, definitely joy to my heart. Like every time I be like, that's it, take it clean. But but yeah,
Appreciate it.
though. But I appreciate you definitely being on the show. It's definitely my dream just to get you on this podcast and everything. And you have a good rest of your day. Like I
Hey,
said,
you
everybody in
too,
the
man.
chat, I appreciate everybody pulling up, and we out.
Yeah, no friends in the industry. My brothers been my brothers, man. You niggas ain't no kin to me.